What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Guys, the Colts win in one of the ugliest ways possible in a 12-9 win over the Denver Broncos in Mile High City. Cody, I don't think our attitude has really changed much about this team even after this win. But needless to say, at least we can come out of this with saying there's a few things that we can take away from this. And let's just start with the simple fact that I think it's safe to say Chase McLaughlin was the right decision here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Perfect tonight. What was it? 4 for 4
Yep.
Tonight for Chase. Hit from about everywhere, hit a couple 50-yarders, hit a 48-yarder. The last one, that ultimately was the game decider. And then, hit a little bit of a shorter one. So Chase McLaughlin's looked great. He's really had only one kick last week against Tennessee. Other than that, he's been virtually perfect. So, Chase McLaughlin was the right choice. Very glad the Colts decided to move on from Rodrigo Blankenship because now their kicker is not costing them games anymore, right? And I would feel confident. And sometimes you're going to have, when you have games like this where it's low scoring, you need a consistent kicker. And I'm glad that the Colts at least found that in McLaughlin, and definitely a bright spot. And now kickers something I don't really have a concern about, moving forward this season. So that's one good thing, I guess, to cross off the list amongst a lot of troubling things with this team.
Yeah, it definitely was the game decider. Thank God, like you said, to have a kicker that, was perfect. Every single kick was through the upright, made it look easy. Even in those 50-yarders was nailing them with what could have been 60-yarders and he made that look so easy. So great to see that. Special teams not costing you games. Matt Hawk, was really getting his pay today. 8 punts on the day. So good job by Matt Hawk. But I think the other thing, I think we can say, Cody, that Stephon Gilmore is him, dude. Bunch of really great plays today, really showing why he was a good decision by the Indianapolis Colts to sign him over the offseason. Has, now won the Colts 2 games in the most pivotal of moments when the game was on the line and making big plays that led to either turnovers or turnover on downs. Stephon Gilmore, man, he's still got it.
He's still got it. Yeah, he had the interception that changed the tide in that game, right? Because, we all thought, okay, Denver's going to go down. At that point, the Colts were down. I think it was 9-6. So Denver would have gone down, and you had to score a touchdown at that point, or you weren't going to win. And then, Russell Wilson, drops back, and Gilmore reads him, and changes that game completely. So Stephon Gilmore, and then obviously had in the overtime the 4th down breakup as well. Yes, it was a great decision to bring in, and the defense came to play today, man. In every capacity, that defense looked really, really good. In all aspects today. And I was really encouraged with what they did. Had a few kind of times where they struggled against some screen passes, but really other than that, I felt like the corners and safeties played exceptionally well. Shout out to our rookie safety, Rodney Thomas, for his first career interception tonight on prime time. So great to see him. He should have had 2 tonight, but he has
3, man. He almost had 3 in that game. He was everywhere. It was kind of like his George Odom game from the Bills last season. You remember that one, right?
Yeah. He looked really good. I'm excited to see what he continues to look like when Julian Blackmon comes back, because I think he's earned a role somewhere in this defense. I don't know where that is exactly, but I definitely think he deserves a look somewhere. He needs to be on the field, or at least get a significant amount of snaps in this defense, because he's proved he's definitely an asset to this defense. And we didn't think he would be. We didn't know what his role would be, right? Because he's a 7th-round pick. Typically, those guys don't see the field and play as much as he had. But because of some injuries, he's kind of been forced into the lineup. And I feel like when he's been forced to play, he's looked really, really good.
Absolutely. We've been talking a lot of crap about the regime and talking about Ballard and his inability to sometimes make big decisions. One thing that we constantly overlook is his ability to make good draft picks late in the draft, right? I mean, it seems
Sure.
like every year the Colts draft somebody in the 5th, 6th, or 7th round that end up being key contributors to this team in some way. So, I mean, it's fantastic that, we found another guy in the 7th round who's playing the way that he is. Very fantastic. You mentioned it. The defense today made it very difficult for the Denver Broncos. Again, Denver Broncos offensively have been terrible all year. I mean, they were the 3rd worst offense in the league coming into this game, and it showed why. But I mean, at least the Colts defense did what it was supposed to do, which was shut down a bad offense, right?
Exactly.
And they did their job. They got pressure on Russell Wilson. They except for like late in the game when they were getting absolutely destroyed because they were gassed, they were stopping the run. So I mean, all in all, defense in totality, fantastic job today, despite missing all of those pieces, and especially Kwity Paye at the end of the game. I mean, you were missing so many guys, Cody, but yet they somehow found a way to get it moving.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. The defense, they held their own. They won this game for this team. Let's not, like they definitely were the reason this team won. Like there's no question about it. Like this defense did their part and then some for this team. And I want to give a shout out to a couple defensive linemen that I thought really stood out today. Talking about DeForest Buckner, he made his presence felt throughout this game. He had a sack and a half, so he was everywhere, batting down passes, making plays, getting after Russell Wilson all day. And then also shout out to Dayo Adangbo, who also had a sack as well tonight. And then also want to talk about Yannick Ngakoue, who had a couple sacks too. All these guys I thought did a fantastic job off the edge, and the defensive line really started to round into shape a little bit more with missing Tyquan Lewis and then missing Kwity Paye at the end of that game. Really felt like the defensive line came to play today as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And especially in key moments too, when it seemed like all hope was lost. I mean, especially when we were talking about it when Cortland Sutton and Washington both caught that stupid ball in the middle of the field for that 50-yard gain where Rodney Thomas got tripped by the ref,
Yeah.
thought that, oh no, this could be the moment where, we might see this team fumble, right? Like we might see them start to falter a little bit because of something not going their way. But this shows the resolve of this defense. It shows some of what the playmakers' mindsets is about on the defensive side of the ball, that even in moments where it feels like they're down, they just never quite give up. And it seems like the defense has finally caught its mojo. It finally feels like it's figured out its identity a little bit. And it's great to see them starting to figure it out a little bit. But then we go to the other side of the ball, which has still not found its identity. This offense looked atrocious all throughout the entire game except for the 4th quarter. And even then they still couldn't score. And would have, and had they not, had to delay a game in the in overtime when they could have went and got, or in the 4th quarter actually, when they're at the 6-yard line and could have had a chance to get a score there before the game was over, you get a delay a game and then it ends up costing you. I mean, this offense, Cody, from top to bottom, offensively, like the offensive line, we saw them make adjustments, right? Before the game, they put Bernard Ryman at left tackle. They put Matt Pryor at right tackle and moved Braden Smith to right guard. That didn't work. Matt Pryor sucked worse than ever at right tackle. Bernard Ryman had 4 penalties on him in that game. Braden Smith and Matt Pryor were not communicating well on the right guard, right tackle spot, and sacks kept happening. Matt Ryan was sacked 6 times in this game. Matt Ryan had almost 3 turnovers, and this offense is so frustrating to look at, Cody. They said this is all-time Colts bad offensively right now. This is bad.
Yes. Very bad. Historically bad. The Colts tonight, Derek, in this game, it's a wild stat. They punted more times in this game than they've had offensive touchdowns the entire season. That's how bad it's been.
And also, by the way, folks, we mentioned this on the stream. We punted 8 times today. The Bills have punted 7 times all season. So think about that for a hot second.
There ain't no way this team's going anywhere unless this offense figures it out. There's no way. Absolutely no way. And, you can, blame, put the blame on a lot of things. The player's not executing, right? Chris Ballard seemingly neglecting the tackle position at left tackle. So now you're in a situation where you're playing the 3rd-round rookie. First time. He struggled, against Bradley Chubb, who's one of the best pass rushers in the league, and, just didn't address some positions that he really needed to address. And also the head coach. Like, what the heck? There was like 5 or 6 times in this game where the Colts were, 2nd down, they run it, they get 2 yards, and it's 3rd down and 7 or longer. It never fails. And what's with these dumb screens? Like sometimes these screens, they never work with the Colts.
They never work with the Colts, dude.
And we said it on stream, Derek. We said it on stream. The Colts on their last offensive drive, they gave a screen to Paris Campbell. And what happened? He gained like 15 yards. And we're like, those are the kind of screens you need to do. Like, why is he still not being involved? When he gets the ball in his hands, he is dangerous.
People want to keep yelling at me about, like, Paris Campbell doesn't get used. He's trash. Like, he's not getting used because they don't target him, man. They don't target him till the end of the game when the game is in doubt. Like, if you got him involved earlier in the games, you might see some explosive plays happen. Like, there's very few times that Paris Campbell has not touched the ball this year where you've not gotten not only positive yards, but big yardage. But yet somehow, some way, they never want to get this guy involved. Never. And
Never, ever.
Yeah, you keep going. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, but just, it's just like, why are we not getting some of these guys involved until late? Nyheim Hines unfortunately got hurt, but you never get him involved until late. And then when you do get him involved, he gets hurt. It's just like, it just sucks.
It sucked. Hopefully. Got the ball 3 times on that first drive, and then unfortunately just got clocked.
So you were very shorthanded tonight at the running back position. You had Phillip Lindsay and you had Deion Jackson, who I thought both looked pretty good.
Yes,
all things considered. But saying that, your offense was just anemic tonight. Like, it was just like, you would have a good play, then you'd have a holding penalty. Or, you would do something and then Matt Ryan would take a sack. It's just dumb things. And the dumb thing is, Derek, like I still, like I said last week, I felt like your tight ends, when you targeted them, and your wide receivers looked good tonight. Again, but you don't score an offensive touchdown because of the reoccurring issues of offensive line is trash, at pass protection especially. And Matt Ryan holds onto the ball too long, doesn't get rid of it, and fumbles the football and turns it over. He had 2 abysmal interceptions tonight. Like I don't blame that on the offensive line. I blame that on Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
He had 2 times where he just completely, the first time threw into like triple, quadruple coverage for, I don't know what he's looking at. And then the second time he just didn't see the defender there. And it's like, what the heck? Like, just, it's just like not smart football. The Colts continue to lose the turnover battle horrendously,
6 touchdowns, folks, in 5 games.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad.
It's really bad.
Like, I don't know what to explain. And the crazy part is, Cody, like,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry to cut you off there. I thought you were stopped and because you were dead on my screen for a second, but
you're good.
But like you said it just now, and I'll reiterate the point. Like everything except play calling, offensive line, and Matt Ryan. The receivers, the tight ends, the running backs, all doing their damn job. Everyone else, offensive line, Matt Ryan, play calling from the coaches, not doing their job. It's amazing to think that what this team can accomplish, have this offensive line not be historically bad. Like, this team, guys, Matt Ryan has been sacked more times through 5 games than Phillip Rivers did all of 2020. 5 games! 5! They have 70% of the season still left to go.
Yeah.
Think how bad that is. Like, it's
Yeah.
historically bad. This is laughably bad. Like it's to the point where, like, if it was a high school team, Cody, every single one of them be kicked off the team or benched. Like, literally,
Absolutely.
that's what it would be like if it wasn't for the fact that you were paying these guys $80 million freaking dollars, man. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. And shout out to Alec Pierce. Shout out to Big Al making plays at the end of that game that changed the dynamic when Matt Ryan couldn't throw the football and when the offensive line couldn't protect him. Alec Pierce made 3 catches in the late part of that game that kept the Colts alive. That pick, there was an almost near pick. That one in the fourth quarter when Bradley Chubb got a hand on Matt Ryan and that ball's just flapping up in the air and that corner should have picked that off. Alec Pierce with the biggest catches of the night. Your rookie receiver, who in the first week we were dragging that boy. We were dragging him for what he did. And these last 2 or 3 weeks, he's been the best receiver on the team. He's been the best receiver on the team through the last 3 weeks. And it's been phenomenal to watch. Couldn't imagine what this team could be had we actually be able to block and actually throw the ball accurately.
Yeah. Well, something else that just baffles me, Derek, that this offense does is 1 week they look real, like they target guys and they go off, right? Last week, the tight ends were unstoppable. This week, between Mo Alley Cox, Kylan Granson, Jelani Woods, they had in total, this is not even a joke. It's just wild to me. They had 5 targets for 1 catch.
What?
5 targets the whole game for 1 catch.
Oh
that
my
was Kylan Granson.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I didn't even think it was that bad. I thought Kylan had at least 3.
Kylan had 1.
And the one target he had, it was a 20-yard gain.
He had 3 targets. He had 1 catch in this game.
Now, I'll give it credit to this. I'll give acknowledgement. Kylan did drop 1 pass. So, you can't do that.
Well,
but,
yeah.
Of course,
but where the heck is Jelani? Mo had 100 yards. Where are these guys? Why are they not being utilized?
Yeah.
Frank Reich's weird.
It's weird that
person
we
I've ever
get
seen
him involved.
I don't understand Frank Reich. I really don't understand. I think a lot of people, a lot of people consider him an offensive genius. I don't consider him that at all. I think he's an idiot. I'm going to be honest. I don't think he knows how to scheme up an offense. It's bad.
Look at these stats again, because I want to see the rushing. Because dude, isn't it unbelievable? It's unbelievable to me. And guess what? Guess another thing, Cody. We had 102 yards rushing today, or 105 yards rushing today on 26 carries.
Wow.
Why is it we could not run the football against the Chiefs, the Jags, the Titans for even 75 yards with Jonathan Taylor? But yet somehow, some way, you run for 100 yards with Deion Jackson and Phillip Lindsay.
It's unbelievable. I don't understand.
You can't tell me Deion Jackson and Phillip Lindsay are better than Jonathan Taylor. It's just not true. So, what is it? Is it blocking scheme? Like, is it because they did something different? You can't tell me the offensive line did a better job blocking today, because they didn't. I mean, it's incredible to think that they continue to, like, it shows you right there that it's the coaching altogether, because for some reason, 1 week you can't run it for 70 yards. Then the next week against a defense that is just as bad, you ran for over 100 with worse players. Like,
you didn't have Ryan Kelly for a lot of this game either.
Yeah, you had your backups in, and you had guys in different positions all game.
It's so baffling how this team is just like that. Like, how this offense is.
I can't even put into it.
It's just weird. And Derek, the reason the Colts have even 2 wins on their record right now has 0 to do with the offense. Completely 100%, because the defense and the special teams has balled out 2 weeks. And the reason why they have losses is because the defense has also balled out, but the offense has been even worse, which is crazy to think about. But the offense, the defense has been not as good as they were tonight, but they've still been good enough to win the game, right? But here we are, man. Here we are at 2-2-1. I don't know how the heck we're at 2-2-1, but here we are. And it has zero to do with this offense.
The Colts have played against Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Ryan Tannehill, Trevor Lawrence, and Davis Mills. The 2 wins came off of Mahomes and Wilson. And people are just like, make it make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't ever make sense.
That is why it has to be coaching. You're right. It has to be coaching because this team is a different team every single week. I don't understand this team. This team has no identity.
And for once, I'm in agreement with Luke Diamond on what he's saying here. Fire Reich, make Bubba the interim head coach, and start Ellinger week 6.
You can't do much worse in your offense.
It can't be any worse offensively. You're historically bad.
Yeah.
Like, you're historically bad. It makes no sense to keep doing what you're doing right now. It makes no sense. It's not going to get better by strategically playing different. It's not. It's just not. You're so bad to the point where not even fixing how you play is going to be bad or make it better. You're just still bad. I mean, what are they averaging right now? 13 points, 12 points a game?
Yeah, it's somewhere around there. It's like 13, 4, because they were like 14 something per game or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's like 13 now because they just had 12.
Didn't help themselves in that department. That's for sure. But somehow, some way, man, the Colts have a winning record. Technically, they don't have a losing record, I guess. So they
got an even record.
Yeah. I don't know what you even call that, but all that to say, I mean, if you had a competent kicker week 1, you could have a winning record right now, which is just madness to me.
Yeah.
But here we are.
That. We'd be 3. Yeah, we'd be 3-2 right now.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's very obvious. I know you made a video about it earlier this week. The Colts need to find their franchise quarterback. The defense is doing their part. The offense just isn't. They need something different on offense.
It's terrible, man. It sucks. It really sucks because it's just like if this offense was even semi-competent, this team we'd be maybe 4-1 right now.
Yeah.
Like the only loss we would have is against the Jags. I mean, seriously, we'd be 4-1 if this offense was semi-competent. But like we got one defense that's really good. We got a defense that's playing really well right now, despite all the injuries, despite the issues with Gus Bradley and the personnel decisions, a defense that is showing grit. And then you have an offense that has, like, this offensive line might go down as the worst offensive line in the history of the NFL by the end of the year. And think about what that is, Cody. This offensive line was the best offensive line 2 years ago. 2 years ago. They went from the best offensive line in football to maybe about to be the worst offensive line in the history of the NFL. What? Like, what is that?
Well, obviously you lost some guys. You lost Costanzo, you lost Glowinski, but still, to go from the best to the worst, that's a coaching issue. There's still talent there.
There's still talent.
So it's weird. I don't understand it. I just think Chris Strauser should never, ever set foot back in Indianapolis after this season because it's bad.
He shouldn't even be allowed back in the building this week.
Yeah. Heck, let's run the Wildcat at this point so we don't take all these sacks. I don't know what to do. But I don't know how much more there is to say because I feel like we said it all. We've got our frustration.
Stephon Gilmore on Prime said, he kept trying me, so I made him pay. I love that man, dude. I love Stephon Gilmore.
Yes. He was a great signing by Ballard. We'll give him credit. Props where it's due,
Yeah, and like that's the thing, right? I mean, he has made, and it's really hard for me to sit back here and then tell me that, like, of course, like when there's going to be a decision that needs to be made at some point with the GM, but like he's made enough position changes to me to at least say that this team should be competent. I think
Yeah.
the problem we're having right now is just the fact that, the defensive side of the ball, some guys that he's brought in are stepping up now. Like they're now figuring it out. But this offense historically is just bad. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, that has to be coaching. It has to be because other than Bernard Ryman, right? Every single one of these guys has played in this system before, and none of them looked this bad before. So,
No.
like, it has to be coaching, right? Like, you would make that assessment, right?
Yeah, I would
So-
say so. I mean, I think that's been the main issue for years has been the coaching or the lack thereof. The teams never prepared. They take forever. And obviously part of that is due to new quarterback every year. That's going to happen. Naheem Hines has said as much. But that being said, there's still no reason why this team should start off that slow. Like there just is no reason why they should. And there's no reason why guys who were really good at their positions a couple years ago are now performing like some of the worst starters in the NFL. There's no reason for that. That should not be the case. So, yeah, I do think it's a coaching issue for sure on the offensive side because, yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. But, yeah, I don't know what else to say, man, about this offense. I don't really want to talk about this offense, if we're being honest.
I mean, let's deviate from let's end this video by saying some good things about the offense because there is a few. Okay, despite how historically bad this offensive line might end up being and what Matt Ryan is incapable of doing at times, and despite the BSery of Frank Reich's play calling, these players, like these wideouts and these tight ends, they are busting their ass to play for this team right now, and they are just not getting the respect they deserve, despite everything else going on. Alec Pierce, who got his name dragged through the dang mud week 1, right? Having one of the worst starts for a guy in his career, a way you would never want your career to start, and then getting a concussion, not playing week 2. Ever since then, he's been the best wide receiver we've gotten. He's been better than Pittman. And of course, that's not a drag on Pittman. Pittman has not been, I don't know if Pittman's just not been as involved in the offense or just is getting guarded by better players and is getting, because he was put on Surtain for the majority of this game. It's kind of hard to get Michael Pittman involved in that way. And especially when the offensive line is so bad, it's hard to get somebody involved like that. But I mean, Alec Pierce, come on. Alec Pierce has been stat-wise doing just as good, if not better than Pittman. And he's been making the grit plays. And Michael Pittman's been doing what's needed to be done. And then when Paris Campbell actually gets the damn ball, he actually does something with it, which pisses me off so much that they don't get him involved in more ways in this offense. And then, like you said, with the tight ends, the stupidity to only target your tight ends 5 times in this game, that's a travesty. Absolute travesty. That unit provided you 200 yards of offense the previous game, and you allowed them to get 20 yards this game. Like, it's an utter travesty. These skill position guys are trying their damnedest to make this team better, and the rest of the team's just not. And shout out to Jackson and Lindsey today. I mean, they came in on a short week, not knowing what to expect, and they provided some life. They provided some heart. They provided some grit. And just, it's saddening that I keep using that word, but yet the rest of the team just doesn't seem to figure that out.
No, it doesn't look like half the time Matt Pryor's even trying. I'm going to be honest. Like, it looks, he's slow off the ball. Doesn't even look like he's going full speed. And he just gets, like, he doesn't even sometimes even touch the pass rusher. He's not even trying to slow him down. At least with Ryman, he's trying. It doesn't look like Pryor's even trying sometimes. It's ridiculous. It's sad. And, you say he can't get much worse, but he was actually worse than he's been at left tackle.
Yeah, I know.
Which is huge. I don't know how that's possible. Well, and it's crazy, Derek, because this guy Last year, he came in and he played great football for the Colts at right tackle. So what else could it be except for coaching? You know what I mean? Like, how could you have the same personnel as last year and it looks like 1,000 times worse?
It 1,000 times worse.
How?
I don't know. I don't know. It goes all of them. Ryan Kelly's been shit all year. Danny Pinter's not been good. Braden Smith's not been good. Quentin Nelson's not been great. And of course, whoever we put at left tackle, they're just not good. It's terrible. I don't understand. And like, and the crazy part is like these guys are like Nelson, Braden, and Kelly, right? Guys who have been in the league for 4-5 years, right? You expect better from them.
Absolutely.
And guys who have been at the best of the best.
Yeah.
Like in 2020, Braden Smith did not allow one sack all year long on 500 passing snaps. Quentin Nelson in the previous 3 years of his career has only allowed 3 sacks. Ryan Kelly, I don't care what PFF says about not giving up sacks. Just because you're not giving up sacks does not mean you're not doing your job right, that you're doing your job right. Ryan Kelly has not looked the same. And he did give up a sack today. And like you said, Matt Pryor, who played right tackle last year, who looked really good with Carson Wentz on that side. And for some reason, he looked even worse as a right tackle than he did as a left tackle. And that's bad to say. Very, very bad to say. That's not coaching, Cody. That's just guys having a little bit of self-respect and some damn pride. I mean, I don't know. Did they get soft after they like thought that, they got paid? They did start getting soft. I have no idea. But I mean, this isn't just coaching. This is players just not having accountability and not taking pride in themselves. This is different. This is so bad.
And I guess the silver lining is it can't get much worse. So you can only go up from here, hopefully, right? But yeah, it was historically bad tonight for offense. And fortunately, the defense saved the day, or the Colts could be really spiraling out of control right now. And we'll see, man, if they can clean it up. I don't have any really confidence in that, especially in the offensive line. For how they've looked through 5 weeks, they've looked bad, like beyond bad. So, yeah, there's not much else to say. I don't want to waste my breath on this pathetic excuse for an offense. So I think we'll just end it here unless you have anything else.
KJ Hamler talked at the end of the game, said on the final play, I could have walked in.
Wow.
He was so wide open that he could have walked in.
Really?
Yep.
You want to hear what Frank Reich said?
I saw it.
Which part?
Oh, the one where he said, we'll figure out the offense, but we played well enough to win tonight.
That is total BS, Frank, and you know that's
bro.
Total BS.
The fact that he would even say that, like, no, you didn't play well. No, say your defense and your special teams played well enough to play tonight to win tonight.
Gosh, yeah, that's unbelievable, and fans aren't buying it. Like nobody is buying this. So, whatever. Let Frank talk his little talk. Can't wait till he's out of the building. I'm serious. I'm so done with him. Like it's beyond. Like there's nothing, in my opinion, he can do to make me want to keep him, unless he wins the Super Bowl, of course. But yeah, it's bad, man. Very bad. But we've talked about it enough. Let's get to bed. We're both tired.
Yeah, all right. So. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this. I mean, you try to take the positives out of these wins, and there definitely is some positives with this team. It's just unfortunate that there are polar opposites on this team right now, and it sucks because the defense and the special teams is pulling all the weight, and it's the coaching and the offensive line and the quarterback that is killing this team. And that's the sad part, is that the 3 pieces that are needed to win games are the weakest links on this team right now. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Let us know your thoughts of this. Thank you so much for the support. And as always, guys, Go Colts. What's going on, everybody? Today I want to talk to you about our sponsor, BetStamp. Now, I know what you're thinking. Derek, another betting app? What is so different about this one now? Well, I got to tell you guys, I'm not into online gambling a whole lot and bets online and everything, but I got to tell you, BetStamp is one of the coolest things I have ever seen in regards to betting online. The great thing about BetStamp is it allows you to see all the different odds from all different sports books and see which one provides you the best odds possible for any game or scenario you want to bet on for your pick versus some of the worst. BetStamp allows you to also buy and sell picks that you have without worrying about losing your money or having any issues with it. Believe me, it's all free. I mean, look at this, guys. You have an option for every game across all different kinds of leagues in a ton of different ways. You have baseball, you have college football, UFC, NBA, and NFL. Great for the NFL season now being here. And if I wanted to bet on this Tennessee Titans versus Buffalo Bills game, it shows me in real time what are the best odds, which sports book I'm going to get the best offer from versus some of the worst ones. Because why would you want to earn less money from PointsBet when you could be winning more from ProLine Plus? Again, a great thing that BetStamp offers you, allowing you to make more money for the same pick just with a different sports book. How easy is that? And the great thing is there's not just games. There's player props. There's game props. There's lines. There's live tracking. There's a ton of great ways to make bets and picks on BetStamp, guys. Totally a cool thing to use. I highly encourage you check it out if you're into any kind of online betting. Even if you're not, give it a check. See what you like about it, because I think I actually enjoy using it. But the best way to get an edge on online sports betting is having multiple accounts at different sports books. Be sure to hit the BetLink page, betstamp.app/onboarding. Be sure to check out the BetStamp app or online, and be sure to use the referral code JUICE, plug in your state, and you'll get access to all their affiliates and their prices once you open it up, seeing all states' lines. Be sure to check this out, guys. You won't want to miss it for the best odds on your next sports bet.